Working from home just took a twist with a growing trend called overemployment. That's where a person holds two full-time jobs at the same time. This is a phenomenon we started hearing a lot about during the COVID pandemic. Here to talk about that and how it works is financial expert and author of the book Good Money Revolution, Derek Kinney, back with us once again today. Hey, Derek.
Hi, Jason. I was going to join you earlier, but I had another full-time job I was working on, but I'm here now.
You know, we joke about that, but maybe it kind of turns out like that for a lot of people. I know employers are not crazy about this idea of people holding two full-time jobs at once since they can't be watched while they're in the office. They're doing this from home. But let's talk about why people do this in the first place. It is a lot of work. It can be tough to pull off, but a lot of people have turned to two full-time jobs at home.
Well, they have, and so many people have been really crushed by this weakening economy. They're not making the money they feel they deserve, and they really see this as a light at the end of their tunnel of, look, I know I have to work two jobs to do it and juggle a whole lot of things, but if I can actually essentially double my salary and it's in this invisible zone of working from home, that can be very attractive for people. The key, though, is you've got to be super organized. And you got to decide if you're going to be truthful or sort of hide this mystery about your job situation. And all of those can have ramifications about your future career as well.
Okay, so what types of jobs does this work best for? Because, you know, not every profession is going to lend itself to you being able to pull this off.
Yeah, keep in mind, this isn't your senior executive. This isn't your corporate vice president. You know, Jason, you wouldn't be able to do this. I mean, there are certain jobs out there that you can't do that, but this would be somebody who maybe it's a research job, maybe it's a virtual assistant job. It's a job where you're working from home, it's proofreading things, maybe website design. I mean, think about jobs where it's invisible and you're paid by your production, and what you get done is typically who this works the best for. So anything outside of that, if you've got to be on screen a lot, you've got to be in meetings all the time, that may not be the best way to combine two jobs into one.
All right. So, Derek, I find it difficult to hold down one full-time job and you know, do it in an okay way. It sounds like a lot to get to. I'm guessing if a person does this, they've got to really be really good at scheduling their time and being very organized about what they're doing and hopefully remembering which employer they're working for at any given time.
It's sort of like dating two girls at the same time and you call the other one by the wrong name. That never ends well. Not that that's ever happened to me, but I've heard stories. The bottom line is you want to be super scheduled and you've got to make a critical decision early on. Do I come clean with my employers and say, look, here's the value and the skill I provide, and I'm doing this for two companies, and here's the devotion I'll give to you, or you keep it under the wraps. The second thing is, you work both jobs simultaneously. Is this a 9-to-5 job where you're essentially working for two companies, or do you work 9 to 5 and then essentially 5 to 1 in the evening into the early morning, and you do it that way? The bottom line is you've got to be regimented on your time management, because if one employer asks you to do a one-off and say, hey, can you be part of this meeting? You want to be very clear to say, I can't do that again in the future, because you know it could really cost you on both sides.
All right, so, you know, but you go into this, you decide to take this on, you're organized, but still you only have so much brain power, so much talent, so much stamina. And that's a big concern from employers, because now you got two of them who are paying you, probably unwittingly, that they're, you know, one of two. And they want their employees, obviously, to do the best job possible. How do you overcome that and perform at that level for both of them?
But on the bottom line, you say the word stamina and time management. You've got to really assess, am I up to the task? And what I would ask yourself is, why are you doing this? Is it because you've got a significant medical bill that you've got to pay off, or you want to get out of debt by a certain date, or I need to send son or daughter to college? There needs to be a compelling reason for you to put in this time and commitment, possibly time away from your family, to really make this thing work. The other piece of that, too, is you want to make sure that you're adding value in every interaction. People can do this well, but I find when I talk to people who've done this, those that tell their employer, look, here's what I'm doing, I'm working two jobs, but you're going to see the results. And ultimately, if it comes down to sales and reduced costs and helping that person grow the business, They don't care if you're working 10 hours or 40 hours, as long as the results are there. That sort of speaks for itself. In an economy where there's so many people quiet quitting, at least they see results. They feel like I'm getting paid for what I'm receiving.
Well, hopefully if somebody's been doing this, Derek, they've been pouring some of that money into investments or a 401k or an IRA before these past couple of days here, because boy, that thing's just been shooting straight up. It doesn't always do that in October, as you know.
Well, an interesting side note on that. So we're in the fourth quarter now, and typically in the second year of a presidential cycle is the second highest rate of a fourth quarter return. Typically, the third year of presidential election is when we see the most. So this is often a heightened year because both parties want the market to do well. They want to be able to have a story that says, look, thank us because of the market. You need to vote for us as well.
All right, I'm going to bookmark what you just said there because that is important to know that. Derek Kinney, this is why we bring you on here, the author of Good Money Revolution. As always, thanks for making us smarter in these past couple of minutes here.
Well, I'm off to my next job, so thanks, Jason. Good to see you.
Don't work yourself too hard there.